Hi, I'm Brad Knowles, producer of Friday Night Flies, hosted by Scott LeBoldis and Scotty Holmes. Enjoy the show.
Hey everybody, Zach here for Friday Night Flies. We're at the White River Fly Shop at Bass Pro in Tawasin. This week I'm going to mix things up a little bit. I've been tying so much big stuff, figured it was time to tie something a little smaller. So I've got kind of a universal pattern. It definitely produces really well in the still water game. It's called the Lioness, and this one I actually had a customer come in a couple weeks ago. Showed me a photo on his phone. His dad loves this fly at the lakes over on the island, and he was wanting some, so I was able to kind of decipher what it was and put it together. I had never heard of this fly, and then I was flipping through one of my fly books by Art Lindgren the other day. Sure enough, there it is. So it's kind of one of those flies. It's a mash of everything. So it's got the body of like a black gnat, the tail of the yellow peril, which I tied a while ago for cutthroat, and it's got the wings of I can't remember. Anyways, it's got wings as well, so it's kind of a mashup of a whole bunch of different flies, and it works really well for trout as well as cutthroats, and even I've heard from reading the book and doing some research on it, works great for steelhead and salmon as well. So it's one of those flies that works for everything. Obviously, just adjust the hook size for that fly. The version I'm doing, it's going to be on a size 8. I would definitely tie this in a size 6 and even a size 4 if you're going after steelhead and salmon. You can probably go down to a 10, maybe even a 12. Depends how good you are with doing wings. I'm not the best at them. It's something I'm still kind of figuring out and putting together, but it's a lot of fun. So it's a cool looking fly, old school looking fly. I love that classic look of some of these. So let's get to it. All right, everyone. So there it is, the Lioness. Pretty cool looking fly. There's a little slow roll there for you. So it's got a wing, it's got a throat, kind of got that classic look to it. It's a cool little fly. I'm definitely looking forward to stillwater season next year, and I can give it a go. Probably even fish it for cutthroat in the spring. Why not? It's one of those things, right? So let's pop that guy out of the vise, and let's throw a hook in the mongoose. So today I'm tying on a size 8 Mustad 3906. It's a nymph sprott hook. I love this hook. It's just got one of those shapes that I just love. Again, I would definitely do this in a size 6, even a 10, even up to a 4 if you want. For thread, I'm just using a 70 Danville in black. It's a 6/0 equivalent. And I'm just going to start at about an eye length back. And we're just going to dress the hook. Cover that up. If I hold my tag in at an angle, it allows all those thread wraps to just fall one in behind the other. And when we get to about between the hook point and the barb, that's where I'm going to trim away the excess. I'm going to keep taking my thread back just a little further, just to where that bend starts. So for the tail on this fly, we're using 2 materials. We're using saddle hackle in yellow and red. Hopefully you guys can see that there. And what I'm using, the parts I'm using, are the less webby pieces. So this one's kind of a bad example. This red one though, you can see down at the bottom here, everything's really webby. It gets quite flowy, which is kind of nice. I find when we're mixing them together, the thinner ones up at the top definitely make it a lot easier to blend those colors together. So I'm just going to peel off about a centimeter or so of fibers. And just a little trick that I've learned over the years. If I just throw one wrap there, it keeps everything nice and steady. That way I'm not fiddling for it and losing it on my desk. And I'm going to do the same with the yellow. In about a centimeter, maybe a quarter of an inch, depending on what part of the world you're from. There we go. So there's the yellow. Now all I'm going to do is undo that one wrap. And I'm just going to roll these fibers in my fingers. And this kind of blends them together a little bit. Just mixes them up ever so slightly. The tail I want to be roughly about the length of the body. So I'm going to tie that in right there. I'm going to take a wrap underneath, maybe one more. This just helps to splay them out ever so slightly, those fibers. And it helps to prop it up as well. And now I'm just going to take my thread all the way back to the front, just to kind of clean that body up and taper it up. And we're going to stop right where we started our thread. Now for the body, I'm just using a small or fine black chenille. It's just ultra chenille, standard, black size. Nice and small. And I'm going to tie this in all my way down. So let's just lock that in on top. Take my thread back. This just adds a little bit of bulk to the body. It's still going to be fairly thin. I find it just adds a nice little bit extra to it. Makes it a little meatier. And I'm going to take my thread right to there, and I'm just going to wrap the chenille all the way up, touching turns. Like so. If you're doing this in the larger sizes, I would definitely tie in some oval tinsel for the chenille, and I would give a couple ribs to the fly. You definitely could do that anyway with this one. This is just how it was originally dressed. This fly does have its origins in BC, which is kind of cool. So I'm looking forward to giving it a go and fishing it hard this spring. Alright. Just going to clean up that head a bit. Now I'm going to invert that hook. We're going to tie in the throat. So about the same amount of fibers as we did for the tail. Both colors. Get those to just sit. Same with the yellow. Once again, we're just going to roll those in my fingers. We're going to tie in the throat right underneath. I'm just going to kind of do a pinching wrap. Wrap back on a little bit. Just kind of run your finger along it. As you can see, it spreads out. Just like so. We got some onlookers here. You guys got any questions at all?
This looks like fun.
It is.
What are you tying today?
This is called the Lioness. So it's kind of a mixed bag fly. It works for just about everything, depending on what size you tie it in.
And where would you be throwing that fly out?
Lakes,
nowadays?
rivers, ocean, wherever. Yeah.
Great.
Good cutthroat pattern, good steelheads, trout, just about everything. Now we're going to add a wing to this fly. This is the trickiest part of it. So I just got some turkey quills here. You can definitely use goose shoulder if you want. Basically, I've got about 7 strands of the fibers from the feather, kind of isolated already. This is an area where I do need to work on, especially since I want to start tying those fancy old school spay flies and such. Wings are kind of tricky. So I'll just hold this up here just to show you guys. So when you get these packs, you get 2 feathers. So I'm taking chunk from one side, chunk from the other side. That way they pair up and they meet in the middle. If you grab them from the same side, they don't quite match up as good. Just to give you an idea here. As you can see, they're now pointing towards each other. That's what we want. Just going to kind of align those tips. And we're just going to do a pinching loop here. So if I can get these to cooperate. Some guys on YouTube make this look a lot easier than it is. So wing length, you can make it as long or as short as you want. You don't want to go past the tail. I kind of go somewhere in between the bend and the end of the tail. And all I'm going to do, I'm just going to pinch the quills together. I'm going to come over with a loose wrap, and I'm going to pinch everything together. I'm going to pull straight down. And if I've done this correctly, which I kind of have, they're going to kind of sit. So the one looks alright, the other one doesn't. So I'm just going to unwrap that. I'm going to do that one more time. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 times. Don't be afraid to go back.
He's videotaping this.
I am. Nothing like doing something that I hate to do in front of a crowd. It's all good. So here we go. We're going to do this one more time. Let's see how that one's sitting. This is the trickiest part, is getting them to sit. That sits pretty good. So they're kind of tented, they're married together. They're going to come apart as you fish it. So don't stress about it too much. This isn't a show fly. I tie my flies to fish them. I'm just going to trim that away. Now we're just going to tidy up the head. And if you watched the show last week, you saw me take a Sharpie to my white thread. You can definitely do that here as well. I'm just going to build up a nice black head with the thread. If I can get that to all go. There we go. Now we're just going to whip finish. You can add head cement to this if you like. This one I'm not going to, so I'm just going to whip finish twice. I find that holds everything pretty good. Keeps everything nice and neat.
The first time you use that damn tool. I haven't tied flies in a long time, and I'm left-handed, so I had to turn it around and use it the other way.
So there's a slow roll for you guys. That's the Lioness. Pretty cool old school fly. Tie some up, fill your boxes, give it a go. All right, let's head on up, sign out. All right, guys, there it is, the Lioness. Yeah, that's what it's called. Sorry. Just had a chat with those guys that were peanut gallerying me there for a little bit. They're actually from a fly club in Maple Ridge, which is kind of cool. If you guys if you're in a fly club or you're from the area and you want to just pop in and do a class, get in touch with me here at the store. You can email our events coordinator. That's all on our Facebook, the store's Facebook page. Yeah, we do a lot of stuff like that. I've actually got a group coming in tomorrow, Saturday, called the West Coast Fishing Chicks. They came in earlier in the spring. They were a lot of fun, and we're going to teach you how to tie intruders and stuff like that, which is a lot of fun. So definitely give us a shout if you're interested in doing something like that. Even if you're interested in just coming in and doing a drop-in day or something like that, maybe we could try to arrange something with all you guys that are in the area, which would be kind of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed that pattern this week. I know Scott's in Barbados, that jerk, getting a tan. Me and Brad have been giving him a hard time because he's gotten into digital coloring lately in the morning. Keeps posting photos, so we've been razzing him pretty hard. Well, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm not sure what everybody else has got going on this week, but hopefully they've got some patterns for you as well. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next week.